Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a self-care evening routine for when I'm on my period. So today is day 2 of my cycle, which tends to be the day that feels the most intense to me. I am quite lucky that in general I don't experience a lot of symptoms on my period, but day 2 is kind of the day where I get the most cramps, a little bit of lower back pain, and just tend to feel quite anxious and sort of wired and frazzled in my brain. This past week has been so busy. It's all been quite hectic and I've not really had a chance to slow down. So I decided to take this evening as a complete chill self-care evening to really honor where I'm at in my cycle right now and just sort of go inwards. I think it's so important to really tune in to your body at this time of the month and really start to slow down, because this part of your cycle is all about rest. So yeah, I've cancelled my plans. It's a Friday night. I am dedicated to staying in and chilling and doing all the activities that I love to do and that make me feel good, that support my mind and my body at this time of the month. And yeah, I thought I'd take you along with me and sort of show you examples of the things that you could do on your cycle to support your body and your mind in that time of the month. So I've just got in from work. It's been a very long day, very busy, very hectic. So now the self-care chill out routine can begin. First things first, I am starving, so I'm gonna make some dinner. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the kind of foods that you can eat to support your body at this time of the month. So on the first few days of your period is when your estrogen and progesterone levels are at their lowest, and that can cause inflammation in the body. So it's a good idea around this time of the month to do your best to avoid inflammatory foods like a lot of sugary and processed foods, and just eat a lot of whole nutrient dense foods. Obviously a lot of fruits and veggies, and they're great for adding extra hydration in as well. You want to stay really hydrated during this time of the month. You can tend to be a little bit deficient in iron around this time of the month as well, because you're losing so much blood. So it's a great idea to eat lots of iron rich foods, and foods that are high in omega-3 are great as well because they have been shown to reduce cramps. So yeah, in an ideal world, those are the kind of foods that are really great for supporting your body at this time of the month. However, we all know how real cravings are when you're on your period. There's no getting away from them, and I do think it's really important to listen to your body and give your body what it needs at this time. If you're craving chocolate, have a little bit of chocolate. Tonight I'm really craving pasta, so I'm gonna make a really garlicky chicken and bacon pasta, and I'm really looking forward to it. Guys, just keeping it real, I just spilled pretty much the entire box of sea salt onto the counter, so that's great. I definitely noticed that I can be a lot more emotionally reactive and easily triggered at this time of the month, and I think that's kind of normal with all our hormones going crazy. And that right there is a great example. When I just spilled that salt, I was like, yeah, this time of the month, it's totally common to get a little bit more worked up over the little things. But just remember, it's not you, it's not permanent, it's just your hormones and it's temporary and it will pass. Obviously, that does not mean you get a free pass to go full on rage and start lashing out at people. It's just a reminder to give yourself a little bit of extra grace and extra compassion in those times when you maybe react a little bit more than you would have at a different time of the month. Comfy clothes are on, and now the evening of self-care can really begin. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why it's so important to slow down and honor your body at this time. When you're on your period, this is when the hormones estrogen and progesterone are at their lowest, which is generally why we get all of those symptoms that you associate with your period, such as cramps and low energy and low mood, and just feeling generally not that great. And this is why generally if we try to keep up with the usual pace of our lives at this time of the month and just keep rushing and going and doing all the things we usually do with no consideration for the phase that our bodies are in, we can end up feeling really burnt out and just exhausted and just mentally and physically drained. So when you're on your period, it's a really great idea to just slow down, go inwards and truly rest and take the time to just sort of notice where you're at. I like to think of this phase of our cycle as an opportunity to hit the reset button and just take a step back and slow down and come back to ourselves. So if you can, it's a great idea to just schedule in a little bit of time for yourself. I know that most of us have jobs. I've just come back from a full day in the office in my 9 to 5. So it's not always possible to just like take the whole day off when you're on your period and just do nothing. But even if it's just an evening or even just an hour out of the day, when your period is feeling its most intense. That is still so useful. Just take that time for yourself to really rest and recharge. If you take the time to really tune in and really listen to your body and what it needs, you may well notice that it is calling out for you to rest and go inwards and maybe not quite be so social as you usually are. The menstrual phase of your cycle is symbolic of the winter season, so you can think of it as sort of like hibernation and going into your cocoon and just resting and recharging before the spring season starts, which is your follicular phase. And I'm going to do a whole video about cycle syncing and what the different phases of your cycle mean. So yeah, this one is all about taking time for yourself and resting. It's natural to feel a little bit less sociable at this time of the month and just a little bit less in the mood to be going out and doing loads of really energetic things. Like I was meant to be at a party tonight and it was Love Island themed, which sounds right up my street, but sometimes you have to learn when to say no and just honor your body. And my body was crying out for just some proper chill time tonight. So I'm really glad that I've given myself that gift. It's also really natural for you to feel a bit more emotional at this time of the month. And sometimes things can feel like they all get a bit too much. And I would say really try to honor those emotions. Don't push them away. Feel them fully. If you need to cry, let it out. It's cathartic and it's so healing. Just be extra gentle with yourself and compassionate. Your body's going through a lot right now, so give it the love and TLC that it deserves. I used to dread this time of the month. I used to think of it as just a massive inconvenience, and every time my period would come I'd be like, oh, here we go again. But now I actually love my cycle. I have completely reframed my perspective on periods. The more I've learned about the menstrual cycle and the sort of spiritual elements and archetypes that surround it, it kind of feels like a sacred time now. As women, our bodies are so in tune with nature and the elements. We are cyclical beings, and if we can harness the energy of the different times of our cycles, that is so powerful. In terms of spirituality and your period, they say that this is the time of the month where you're the most connected with the divine, so your intuition might be stronger. You might be getting sort of more insights and downloads during your meditation practice. I know that talking about periods and the menstrual cycle is still kind of a taboo subject, and I know that a lot of women feel a lot of shame around their cycle, and unfortunately that's just a side effect of the kind of society that we live in. But just remember that this is such a sacred time and a great time to feel more connected to the divine and to tune into your intuition, and I think that's kind of like a superpower that us women have at this time of the month. So hopefully we can all start to unlearn that shame that we've all been so conditioned into feeling around this time of the month. Generally around this time of the month I like to take a little bit of extra time to meditate and just see what kind of insights come through, and also journal, let any big feelings out and just get all of my thoughts onto the page, which can be so healing. That's a great activity to do around this time of the month. Another great self-care activity for you to do around this time of the month is anything that connects you to your sacral chakra. This is the chakra that's sort of the area around your womb space. It's associated with emotions and sensuality, things like moving your hips, dancing, yoga, anything that sort of stimulates that area of the body. Even just like putting your hands on your womb and giving yourself a little massage, that can be so nice for cramps as well, and really helps you to connect to your womb space, because our bodies are a lot more sensitive around this time of the month. And yeah, giving yourself a little massage and feeling into your hips can feel so nice and great for relieving aches and pains. A great way to relieve cramps is to do a little bit of light exercise. It's probably not the best idea in this phase of your cycle to be doing really intense exercise like HIIT workouts. If you do still feel good doing those kind of workouts this time of the month, then go for it. But if you do feel that call to slow down and you do kind of feel a bit more sensitive, some gentle exercise can be really beneficial, like going out for a walk or doing some really gentle yoga. So yeah, I am going to take myself off to do a little bit of yin yoga. So this is what the rest of my self-care period routine looked like. I did some yin yoga on the roof. I made sure to do lots of hip openers and grounding poses, which felt really nice, just what I needed. And then I decided to blast some music and have a little boogie around my room to help me get into my hips and my sacral chakra, which was so much fun. And then it was time to get unready from the day, have a shower, get into my PJs, do my skincare, all of that good stuff. And I was craving a little bit of chocolate, so I had this yummy Tony's bar. And then I did some journaling about my day, the thoughts that were coming up, the emotions that were present, and then just did a little bit of reading before going to bed. So yeah, that was my period self-care routine. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!